Hi, my name is Dominic Apollo. I head up the revitalization team for the Regional Synod of the Mid-Atlantic. We're glad you stopped by. Let me tell you a little bit about what we're doing on the revitalization team. We feel it's our mission to help churches in this day and age on a number of areas to help them grow spiritually and deeper in their connection with God and Christ, but also to help them to do mission in the world. We live in a mission context now. The churches in their communities and the people that surround their churches really don't care about church all that much. And our job is to help the church connect with those people in a way that they can share the love of Christ with both in word and in deed. We offer a number of different programs or resources. Natural church development is a resource that the denomination is using as a whole. The church takes an assessment of their church in 8 key areas, and then we use that. We look at what is the minimum factor, what is the lowest score, and over the next 6 to 8 to 12 months the church works on developing ministry that affects that particular quality characteristic of the church. We call that natural church development. We're also looking to help pastors with networks. Networks are meetings of pastors around a particular issue of growth and concern, and they come together for learning, for collegiality, and also for mutual accountability. The denomination has trained a number of coaches, and the pastors are coached through this time. They usually gather for 12 months, once a month, and then in between meetings the coach will call each participant and just ask them how they're doing. It's not so much that the coach is checking in on them, but it's the person is asked to be held accountable. So that coach is just calling to encourage them and see how they're doing with some of the things they already decided were important in their life. We're also working on other resources. We work with churches to help them become more mission-focused and outward-focused in their ministry. We're working with the American Baptists. They have a particular resource that helps churches evaluate where they're at. It's a very easy tool. In about an hour and a half, church people gather and talk about their church, and in that hour and a half they fill out a questionnaire basically, and they look at different aspects of their church, and then it's scored just to help them to know where they're at. They'll come together for another hour a couple of weeks later after it's scored and brought back to the church. And the church just looks at how could they affect these areas. And very simple tool. But we're here to help the churches, to help pastors, to help leaders of churches. And if there's anything we can do for you, please don't hesitate to shoot me an email or to give me a call. My number is, you can find my number. Somehow Phil's going to help you to find my number. But anyway, we're glad you stopped by. You know, I got into revitalization through a denominational training called refocusing. It was a 1-year process where pastors got together and they really explored what was God's call for their life. And through that you were to come up with a biblical mission statement, a value statement. And in that whole process of discernment, one of the things that I walked away with is God has called me to help the church to do mission in this day and age with all of its challenges. And to look at the structures of the church and how can they reform in order to meet the needs of today and yet still be faithful to the gospel of Jesus Christ and to the church to the way that God wants the church to be, if that makes sense. But really that's how I got into it. It's something that's just in my heart, and I want to help the church. We were invited to one thing. I work with Ken Eriks, who's in charge of leadership development and revitalization within the denomination. And I had heard Reggie McNeil speak already, so I knew what he was going to talk about. So I enjoyed that, but it was kind of repeat. But what really I thought was of value at one thing was the fact that there were almost 800 people there from the Reformed Church talking about one thing, and that's how to do mission in this day and age. The seminars that they had outside of the meetings with Reggie were very, very helpful, and one in particular really challenged me to an area of my own life. But it was just the camaraderie that was there, and the energy that was there, and the focus on being the witness of Jesus Christ in our world today. That for me at least was the highlight of that time.